everyone, my name is REDRUP. This is the It's Not a Phase podcast, and on this episode I'm joined by Luke and Connor from the band Calling All Captains. In this chat we talk about their brand new EP, Emotion Sickness, creating the DIY music video for their song Wallflower, their growing presence on social media, girl-only mosh pits, introducing some more experimentation into their music, and loads more. Before we get into it, please consider taking a few seconds of your time to do me a huge favour and support the podcast if you can. You can hit subscribe or follow wherever you're listening to or watching the podcast. You can leave a review or a comment, give the podcast a follow on social media, and there's also a Patreon and there's a web store if you did want to go the extra mile. You can find all the links to everything that I've just mentioned in the description of this episode, or you can head to itsnotaphase.co.uk. And now, here's my chat with Calling All Captains. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me on this episode of the It's Not a Phase podcast, where I'm joined by Connor and Luke from the band Calling All Captains. How are you both doing today?
We're good.
Doing well.
Doing great.
Awesome. We were just saying, you guys have just woken up, so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for today.
Yes, that is what they say.
Yeah.
Did they say that?
They do say that, yeah.
I think I've heard my mom say that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's an old saying or maybe it's a UK. I don't know where it comes from, but
I've heard it.
It's a saying. It's a saying. So I guess the big news for you guys is obviously new EP coming around the corner, Emotion Sickness, that comes out on July 19th by New Damage Records. How are you feeling about getting this collection of songs out there?
Very good.
Whoa.
It's been a while since we've had any music out. Like our album, I think it's been 2.5 years since the album came out. We did a single in that time, but we're very stoked to finally have a new batch of songs for everybody.
Is that just because you've been sitting on them and just working on it for a while, or is it just things happening in the background and all that kind of stuff?
Well,
Yeah,
I guess
Go ahead, Luke.
kind of as the story goes, we weren't only signed to New Damage Records, we were signed to Equal Vision Records before. And they're from America and we're from Canada. So after we did our full-length record, both of us were kind of like unsure of like where to go next. Like we were writing songs, but like we were like, are we gonna put out another record with you guys? And they were like, yes, but we don't know. And then we just had more conversations, and as it went on, we both realized that we just didn't want the partnership to continue. So getting off of the label, that kind of put ourselves back a bit, just in terms of like timelines, what's available to us in terms of like recording budgets. But New Damage, they went in partnership with Equal Vision for Slowly Getting Better, and New Damage was like, you know what? Let's just go full in. We'll start recording music right away as soon as we can. And I think that's what's got me so excited about this EP coming out. Is it's been not only a long time since we released music, but this music feels really creative because of how involved each member was, especially me and Connor. This EP feels like really refreshing. There's one song that One More Day that Connor actually sings on the whole record.
Oh, okay.
Or like the whole track. He plays frontman, and that's a really, really cool aspect, because like we grew up listening to Connor, for sure, he grew up listening to the Beatles, and that's like everybody sings in the band, and I always loved that aspect. Like I'm the singer guy, yeah, sure, but like Connor can sing an amazing song, so you're all gonna hear it.
Yeah. What was that like for you? Kind of like taking the helms of the microphone for this one?
I mean, not too different. I think, like, especially with Slowly Getting Better, we did have a lot of parts where I would sing main lines, but I think a lot of people probably don't notice because our voices sound so similar. And like when Luke became the singer of the band, it was kind of a crazy situation. We lost our original singer. Luke was the drummer at that time, and we didn't really have anyone to fill in, so we tried Luke out on vocals. And we liked what we were hearing, so it kind of left a void of like backup vocals. So I think like together Luke and I kind of had to learn how to sing and I just did it out of necessity to like back him up.
Mm.
Um, and so like I really developed my sound around how he sounded. So it's funny when we're doing demos and stuff, like we'll go back through like some vocals that we tracked, and even sometimes we can't tell who is singing what part, like in our older stuff. So I think we've developed a little bit more now to where you can probably tell the difference between our voices.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a completely new thing for me to take the lead on a track, but it is new for me to take like the entire track.
Yeah.
Now Luke does do like the background vocals and like some lower octave stuff, and you'll probably hear that in the song. But yeah, we haven't played that one live yet, so I don't know how that will go. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, he's got to trade places for just a moment
Yeah.
in the set, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an acoustic track, so it's also something we haven't done as this iteration of Calling All Captains. We've been mostly like high high speed, fast paced punk rock.
Yeah.
This is kind of a different feel for us, and I think it'll be cool to introduce something like that into the set where we can bring the energy down, switch it up on stage. Um, but yeah, like
There's a
it'll
glockenspiel.
yes, like a xylophone if anyone doesn't know what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that remains to be seen for me because Luke's always like been the front man. He's very charismatic and like he's got very good stage presence, and I'm maybe more withdrawn and I don't like speak to the crowd as much when we're on stage. So we'll see how that all goes.
Yeah.
You'll have to catch a show if you want to see it.
Yeah, definitely. It's not like you're going in for his job then. You're not gonna.
No, 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 no. I don't
I
have any
don't think
dance
he wants
moves.
this job at
I
all.
don't want this stuff, no.
Well, I really like the cover artwork for the EP as well. It's kind of like it's like DNA coding, like strands and stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of the original idea for that is like the chemical symbol for serotonin.
All right. Okay.
It's kind of like, yeah, and it's like, well, how can we add that to ourselves? So it's like we kind of made like this captain's molecule so that you can, like, if you look closely at the art, you can see the little captain's molecules all around, and it's like, get it in you. I don't know.
Well, I think it's
Some new,
on maybe it's on the back of the EP or in the center fold, but you'll see like the straight up the serotonin symbol with our
Okay.
little flower logo in there. And we did that to tie into the name, emotion sickness, because science.
you ever get,
That,
yeah, you ever
that
get so sad you cry?
Who doesn't?
No, no, wait, I said that wrong. You ever get so sad you puke?
oh,
No,
I don't remember doing that, but
just me.
well, yeah, obviously that ties in with
Yeah,
the album name, doesn't it? Well, the EP name,
yeah,
sorry. Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of
yeah.
like,
So it was kind of like we like the wordplay stuff where you can like mess around with words. So that's why emotion sickness has the brackets around the E,
Yeah.
because it's like motion sickness, which makes you physically sick, but it's emotion sickness.
Yeah.
We thought it
Ah,
was kind of clever, so
I see what you did there. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. That's cool. And did you go back? Because you always go with Quinn. Is it Cyrankiewicz? Is that how you say his? I might butcher his
That was
surname.
that was a good guess because I know his
that was
name is
really good guess.
it's actually pronounced Cyrankiewicz.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I butchered it a
For
little
sure.
bit, but yeah.
No, that's okay. It's a terrifying word to try to pronounce or a name to try to pronounce. I've just recently learned how to spell it properly. So yeah, we did emotion sickness with Quinn. We've pretty much done like our entire catalog with Quinn.
Yeah.
Other than Unlike Me, we did that with Sam Guyana. But Quinn's like a huge part in how we write and how we record. He's been our engineer and our producer for a long time, and we just have like this really cool bond in the studio. Um, and we've like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we kind of just continue to do that with him. And he lives in our hometown here in Edmonton, and we work out of a really beautiful studio. that was built in the 70s, so it's got real like Led Zeppelin vibes. It's got all the wood paneled like cedar walls and blue plush carpets everywhere.
25-foot high ceiling.
Yeah, so it's a really cool vibe. And Quinn's just a very integral part of our sound and how we put songs together. So
Yeah.
we're always happy to go back and work with him.
So it's kind of like
Yeah,
the
man, like he's
secret member in a way.
dude, he's the
Yeah,
guy that, like pushed me to become the singer. Like I remember, do you remember, Connor? I was like having like a fucking panic attack in the studio.
having a breakdown, like
And
I
then
can't do this. And
yeah, like
Quinn
I
kept you
can't do this.
calm. Yeah.
Yeah, Quinn's like, no man, you can do it. You're gonna be great. And I was like, man, he saw something in me that I didn't. So
And here you are
definitely gonna
today.
take his word for lots of this shit. Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, to go back to him, it's like so much. You must not only have such a great working relationship, but also like you kind of mentioned there, like a friendship. Like you've built this foundation with him that. But yeah, like I say, it's basically like sculpted the band you are today with like kind of encouraging you to be the singer, Luke.
Totally.
Man, yeah, like it was an idea that we all had, but I wasn't like I wasn't like a great singer, like hopping in there.
It seemed far-fetched at the time, I will say.
Yeah, it
Especially
seemed like really out of reach.
especially me being the guitar player, and Luke being the drummer. We had been jamming. I guess some slight backstory. Luke and I have been best friends for what, like
15 years now,
15
brother.
years. We've been like best friends, hanging out every day. So we've jammed a lot in our lives, even before this band, and like just kind of developed that like sixth sense. If you're a musician and you play a lot with somebody else, you'll know, like you can just sort of like tell what the other person's gonna do. So it was really cool that we got to like do that together. And I was worried that bringing in another drummer would be, I don't know, it would just like change the way that I had to play guitar. Luckily, we found an amazing drummer who's actually like way better than Luke was. But yeah, so it didn't affect us negatively. And now that Luke's singing, we get to do that same thing together, but vocally,
Right.
and we still write everything together. So
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah,
15 years is a long time. Like people have prison sentences shorter than that. So
straight up, yeah, no
yeah,
doubt.
yeah. Well, you also saw, the latest single, Wallflower from the EP that dropped not too long ago. Which is kind of a song about, I guess, like maintaining friendships and relationships whilst kind of also battling a bout of depression, I suppose. Do you think that, choosing that as a lead single, does that kind of represent not only the overall sound of the EP the best way, do you think, but also, calling all captains as they are today?
You know, I think the reason we all kind of chose Wallflower off rip is I don't know why, but we always seem to write songs that just have vocals come in first. Like we love that shit. Like Chasing Ghosts, Unlike Me, Loving Cup, kinda. It's all these just kind of gives a good vibe, right? Off rip. Like musically, I think this song was a really wise to release first. It's got a really hooky intro. Then we comes in Captain's fashion, we're throwing it fast. And then we have like a really big chorus, which I really think that this chorus for me, I wrote a challenge for myself. I was like, I want to write a chorus that doesn't rhyme. That
Wow.
was my intention with writing this chorus, is that I want it to just be my feelings. I don't want it to be like some clever lines that I have to string together. I just want to tell you exactly what I'm feeling. It's like, I know you want me to be happy, so find me one good reason because I'll feel it. It's like, give me a reason to stay here, because like I'm always up in my head, thinking about shit really negatively. But fuck, man, Connor, half the time he's just like, yo, man, here's one thing. And I'll be like, man, I get it. It's like I struggle a lot with my mental state in the sense that I keep it all to myself and I let that negatively affect my interactions with people. But having good people in your life, um, it's really important, because like that last line of the song is like, so stop trying to be so coy. You know that I see it. It's like, I know that my friends and family, care about me. I know that they can see me going through shit, but they don't say anything because they letting me figure it out. But sometimes I just need that one reason, you know, like there's another line in there that says like it's always something, nothing's ever gonna fix me type shit. And maybe that's true, you know, we're always gonna deal with our mental health for like the rest of our lives, but it's knowing how to deal with it and who to be around that can help you through all that shit. And being in a band and being in this music life, man, it's brutal. It's brutal.
Mm.
People come and go. You know, it's I was I watched a movie last night. It's called August Rush. I don't know if you've seen it before, but I realized how important this movie is to me and how much it really affected me. And this is the whole premise of the movie is that this orphan has two musician parents who don't know he exists. The mom had to give him up at birth because of her dad being a tyrant, being like, no, you're going to be a classical cellist, blah, blah, blah. And then the dad, he's just a rocker, doesn't even know he's got a kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this kid is just filled with so much music. And he keeps going through foster homes, church, living in churches, living on the street with a weird guy. And he somehow ends up in Juilliard. And in Juilliard, he learns how to create compositions. He writes a beautiful song that they're going to show in New York Times Square. And while they play that music, his parents actually find each other again. And they had a realization that, like, I think that's our kid. And it's like, it's such an outlandish concept, but the whole theme of the music, or the whole theme of the movie is like music is everywhere. You just have to go find it and don't let it go. And I was like, man, I've never let go of, I've let go of so much shit in my life, but I've never let go of this music. And I know Connor hasn't either. Literally the first time we ever met each other, I dropped a guitar pick in math class and he's like, oh shit, you jam? And I was like, yeah, man. He's like, where you live? I was like, I live in number 21. He's like, I'm number 10. And we didn't even realize, but we literally take the same bus home, live 10 houses down. And then we like immediately just started writing music together.
Wow.
Like even if it's like shitty little rock songs, we always have like we have finally had a creative partner. You know what I mean? Like I was searching for that in so many different people throughout my life. And then like I met Connor and it was just like, it's like, wow, rock and roll. We fucking did it.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's just
sir.
like that kind of bonding experience, and I guess that was the foundation of you guys creating a friendship, and then obviously look where you are now. You're in a touring band and releasing your next EP and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, man. So that's why we chose Wallflower as the lead single.
yeah, good choice. And I saw the video as well, like with all the like flowers and leaves. That must have been a pain to set up and taken so long.
Yes, I kind of took the lead on that music video because we get a budget and we're like, okay, what can we do with this? And typically you look for like a space to rent out, and then you're kind of at the whim of wherever you go, like what hours you can film and what you can do. So I said, you know what, boys, like let's take this money and let's see if we can do it ourselves this time. So we convinced Luke's mom to let us clean out her garage, a little 2-car garage. And like I do a lot of DIY, like woodworking and stuff on the side. So I've got a whole bunch of tools and like some knowledge I've collected over the years. So I just built us a simple like 12 by 12, I guess like a green screen type. Um, and we just started buying all these flowers. I think we spent like
Thirteen
$1,300
hundred dollars.
on fake flowers, which it was actually insane how much like Amazon Prime started delivering them, and we're like, what have we done? Like, this is crazy. Yeah, like I think it
Yeah.
probably took us about 2.5 weeks of like building the set and figuring out how we were gonna do everything and hanging these flowers, and then I bought like AstroTurf for the ground, and I bought like an actual tree to put in the back and like a bunch of real flowers and like sunflowers. Um, we weren't sure if it was gonna look good or anything. We just kind of were like, well, we spent this money now, so we better make it work.
Yeah.
Um, and then our videographer Alan Bremner, who does some really cool shit with some really cool bands. He lives in Calgary, just a couple hours down the road from us. He drove up, and he's also very important to the way that we look, like even in our press photos and our videos. He's done a lot of our videos. And he's really good at like picking out frames and like colors and how to set up a video and all this stuff. So once he showed up, we kind of had a little bit more direction. He's like, okay, no, you guys are going to move this here and move that there. And then he's doing all this crazy stuff. And then we do like some test shots and we look through his camera, and it was like, holy crap, I can't believe we built that. Like
Yeah.
it looks like a professional set, the way that he's like framed it and colored it. So really, really pleased with how it turned out. And it was really cool to be able to like as a group put it all together and like make it work as well as it did.
Yeah, like I say, just kind of like seeing that finished product, like you put all these like flowers and stuff, and you see them turn up on your doorstep. You're like, what are we gonna do with these? But then seeing it all around the room, and then obviously the video and stuff like that, that must have been like so gratifying as well. Like you made that.
Yeah, it's a really cool feeling.
Yeah. So where are all the flowers now? What have you done with them?
They're in garbage bags or
Bags.
like recycling bags just
Okay.
in the garage because we had to give Luke's mom her garage back. So right before tour, she's like, "Get this stuff out of my garage." We're like, "Oh, sh." So we kind of had to like rush, pack them up, and take down the set. But I think we plan to just like take them all because it's an insane amount of
Hmm.
flowers. Like it's crazy. We're gonna just take them to our jam space and hang them up on the walls. And then we film a lot of our social media content there, so I think it'll add a cool background to what we do there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You always put like those leaves back on the instruments and stuff like that. That looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that well we
Like when
brought
you're
a
on tour
bunch of
and
the
stuff.
flowers on our tour with us to try to like have them on stage and have them at the merch table and stuff. But it turns out it's really hard to do that when like we're so crunched for time at shows sometimes, and we don't really have a crew with us. So when we're playing these small stages where like basically you do a sound check and then you have to tear all your gear down
Yeah.
and then put it back up as quick as you can right before you play. There's not really time to do all the decorating and whatnot. But who knows? Maybe on our upcoming Emotion Sickness tour, we could do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of the songs on the EP, I mean, you kind of mentioned this earlier, Luke, they touch on like mental health to varying degrees, it seems like, depression, self-deprecation, how it, mental health can affect you physically as well. And sometimes being unable to convey your mental health to other people and how they can kind of just talking about it, I guess, like just seeing how if they can help in any way. Is it ever like difficult trying to put those feelings and emotions into song? Because then obviously people will, well, the for the people, I guess, forever, really, like once they're out there.
I think for me, it's not difficult to put it into a song per se, like especially if I'm just sitting, like I literally sit right where I'm sitting
Mm,
and I'll record stuff and write lyrics. I think it comes pretty easy that way. I think the hard part is like showing people, like especially before it's a fully formed song. If it's just a demo and
yeah,
you don't know if it's good yet or like if it's catchy, and like so bringing that to the group, and it's like it's like I'll send Luke a demo and then I'm just like, you get like that knot in your stomach, like you're waiting for a response. Like, is he gonna like it? Is it good? Is it bad? Did I just make a fool of myself? I don't think we would ever like rip on each other like that or
yeah,
see a song like that. But like it totally when you pour your heart out into lyrics like that, it's it's like a emotional response. And if someone doesn't like it, it's like they don't like what's inside of you. It's
yeah, because you've
really
poured your heart into it, and it's like, I guess it's like trying to, you know what you want to say, but can you say it right?
exactly. So that I think that's an important part of being a good songwriter is being able to put that emotion into the lyrics, but not being so attached to it that you get like personally offended by somebody else's opinion on it because like I'm speaking from my point of view here with writing lyrics, but then Luke will also write, like he writes a lot more lyrics than I do probably and sends them to me. And like I will have opinions on them, and we're best friends, so I'm not afraid, or we're not afraid to be like, okay, well, are you sure this should be said like this, or can we use a different line here or a word here? And we kind of just got to like feel out the process and see what, like boil it down to what the most important essence of the lyrics are,
Yeah.
uh, with without like, I don't know, without losing the magic touch or whatever. But sometimes there's a line that I won't like or something, or won't like the way that it's presented, and Luke will be like, well, that's like the line for me. Like that's the one that means the most. So then it's like, okay, now that I know that, we can maybe rework some other parts of it. But
Mm.
it's that's the creative process, is you gotta give and you gotta take and you gotta stand your ground sometimes, but you gotta also know when to fold them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think it's the process for me is like a lot very, very similar to Connor. It's like I have a really good habit of just writing skeletons. Like I'll write songs that literally just have chords, bass, drums. And it's like do 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 do. Get it done. I'll just sing over the whole bitch. And usually in these first demos I have, these lyrics are really raw. Like they don't I showing Connor, because that's who I always show these songs to first. It's always it's always interesting because Connor knows me the best. He knows that what lines mean, and I don't even need to tell him. It's kind of like just that he can like look at my life and extrapolate the information just off of these like four lines in a verse, and he levels me up because he can even pull emotions that I might not even be realizing myself. There's like a song on Slowly Getting Better called Laurel Canyon. I was going through a really bad relationship at the time, and Connor literally wrote about it. He was like, yo man, like I see what's going on, so I've written these lyrics and like I want you to see if you like them or whatever. And I was like, dude, you don't have to call me out like this, but these are amazing, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's it's there's always this level because like us in the band, we're always joking, we always tease each other, like that's a big part of our aspect, is that we always like to chirp, you know so when it comes to songs, there's always this little bird in the back of your mind that says like, oh, they're gonna chirp you about this, they're gonna make fun of you, like they're gonna take this and use it against you later. But that never happens.
Yeah.
That's just anxieties of like pouring yourself out into a song. But the moment Connor and I, we finish the song and like look at it, zoom out, change the line so it means something to both of us, not just me. It kind of becomes what it is. Like it's these songs, especially when I start writing them, it's just word vomit. I'm just saying everything at once. I'm not really conveying a message. When Connor comes in, he's like, all right, like what are the lines you really attach yourself to, and how can we make this a better song? Not necessarily how can we change what you're saying, just how can we make this all better?
Right.
And that's really important for me, because I have a little bit of an ego. I'll write a whole song and be like, yeah, this shit slaps. But Connor will be like, no, you play these guitars very poorly.
The
but it's
benefits
but
of being
it's
best friends. Yeah.
yeah, that's like, I don't think anybody else could say that shit to me.
Yeah, it's all like yeah, you kind of you say tease each other and stuff, but it's for the betterment of the song. It's not because it's not there's no like malice or anything there or anything like that.
No,
Yeah, of
no.
course, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. Well, notice there's
Like
also
like that.
sorry, go on.
Well, sorry, just to interject, is like there's that
Yeah,
song on the EP that's Connor sings. It basically didn't change at all in the studio. Just Connor threw something amazing together, and it just saw it when after the emotions were all finished, the song was like final. And that's like really rare that happens in the studio where nothing changes.
mm.
So I'm just giving super props to Connor, because like that song didn't change at all, and it's really good.
Hole in one with
And I
that
can't
one.
wait for everybody to listen.
I hope they like it.
Yeah. Well, I
It's
noticed
got
as
a
well there's that.
cello.
I noticed as well there's that you have like that instrumental interlude on there, Float Back, which is, you put some kind of electronic sounds and stuff on there, which isn't really something that you guys have done before. But like, how did that idea come about?
Okay, so that's something that maybe these three guys never done before. But I've
Right.
had a side project since 2017 called Gaffwood. It's my name, right there,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's like SoundCloud rap, cloud rap, emo trap, hyper pop. I have so many different styles of music that I'll touch on with Gaffwood, and it's all in like this electronic trap rap kind of realm. So with this EP, we wanted to get a bit more creative. We wanted to add a bit more elements that we never have before. So for Float Back, I actually had a buddy that I work with lots on my Gaffwood music. His name is Desmo. We sent Desmo all of the stems and tracks from our record. And we were like, yo, we would love for you to create an interlude containing elements from each different song, if you can. So it's honestly a whole trip. Like that song is like, it's a short song, but it's positioned perfectly in the record for us to have three bangers right off rip. It sounds like Captains right off. And then we hit this interlude because we're going to take everybody into like a different direction. Because after that interlude, we have Connor's acoustic song. And then we have our final, which is like Sunbeam, which I would almost liken it to more of a ballad. It's a very powerful rock ballad. And it's like, I really think that Float Back kind of tied the record together in all of its sounds. It's so cool. I've never heard a band kind of put anything like this out, so very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. I did notice it kind of acts as like a kind of like a bridge between two different sides of the EP. And the only kind of record I
Yeah,
can think of that's even done something similar is A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. You have that interlude, which the first half of the record is kind of like electronic, and then it goes into the second half where it's more like pianos and strings and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it works as like a little good mid section, I guess, a bit of a breather into the next section of
yeah,
the
like a little palate cleanser.
yeah.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah. That's better way of describing it than I just did. So yeah.
No, very good.
But it seems like over the past few years as well, like you guys have really kind of, I guess, this is kind of a product of the pandemic. Is you guys have really honed in on like social media, especially like TikTok. And I think what I really like about your social presence is that it's not just, hey, we've got a new single coming out. Hey, buy this, buy that, come to this show, come to that show. I mean, you do have that, but it's also you guys having fun and showing your personality and stuff. How have you been finding kind of like growing that social presence online?
Well, I think Luke and I can't really take credit for how we've grown in that way. Our guitar player Brad has really he takes on a lot in the band, including like the social media responsibility. So he films and edits all of our videos. Um, I mean, we'll all have ideas that we'll chip in and like do these silly things together. But it's always Brad that's like presenting it to the world,
Right.
and he's just been getting really good at it, and he just knows how to like make something go viral now. So it's really cool. Because like as a musician, I think maybe a lot of musicians don't love that aspect of it's not really just about the music anymore. You have
Mm.
to do everything you used to have to do and really well, and you have to add this whole other layer if you want to be seen. Um, and that's kind of hard to get into, like filming yourself and doing all this stuff, but it is really important nowadays. So Luke and I pretty much we do the same thing we've always done. We just try to write our music. But now that Brad has put us in front of this many more people, like we're really seeing growth, and like a whole bunch more people are hearing our music and seeing our faces, and like we get recognized all over our hometown now, and like even
I got recognized
like
twice last night.
Yeah, at the comedy fest. Yeah. We'll
Local
be like
celebs.
we'll be at a restaurant in like on the other side of the country, just like having breakfast, and someone will come up and be like, "Oh my God, are you guys calling all captains?" I'm like, "Yeah." That's so like that's really cool that he's been able to put us out there in front of that many people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's like the first EP or first album, first batch of songs that we've put out where we have this audience. So we're really excited to see how we can grow in this
Yeah.
next phase.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, obviously you're seeing all these numbers on whatever social platform you wanna pick, but it's like interesting to see like how is that conveying into actual real life people as opposed to these numbers that you're seeing on social media. Like how does that convert, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to
You know what?
see. Oh, go ahead.
I, I was gonna say it's like it's so crazy social media because it'll be like if you look at our Instagram profile, it'll be like, oh yeah, they got 284,000 followers, but that could mean you have like maybe 10,000 people that follow us in Edmonton, but we go to Fort McMurray up north and there's only 50 people that follow us there. So like it's a big number when you look at social media like that, but at the very end of the day, you always have to do grassroots advertising. That's one
Yeah.
thing that Brad is that we haven't mentioned yet, but Brad actually owns his own company, which is business marketing and website design. So he designed our website and he does all of the ads for all of our tours. So that's one thing that's really been beneficial for us is that we not only have the capabilities for social media reach now, we have an advertising plan, which is we never had that before. We would just literally go on the road, post the tour poster once, and just see what happens. That's crazy. Can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and then third, he's really good at making sure that we all do content on the road. So like it's always like that's the best time for us to film content when all four of us are together. Usually back home, when all four of us together, we're either writing music, playing music, or preparing for a show or music video. That's just kind of the way it goes for us. Oh no. Oh,
We all work full-time jobs, so
yeah, we
that was
all
a
work
lot.
full time.
Yeah. Just balancing life on top of everything else, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's that advertising aspect is like I'm really excited to head out on this next tour because we're at advertising every single city. Tickets are selling. It's some tickets are selling well. We have a chain reaction show at Anaheim, selling very healthily. That's what they said to us last time. Um, and that just seems to be like how it's going all around. And it's all thanks to Brad, social media, advertising. It's crazy. Social media, it's really, really, really important, but that don't let it distract you from the fact that you still have to do work.
Yeah.
You can't just get all these followers and then just expect to be successful. You
You got to
still
back
need
it
to
up.
put in the work. You have to
Yeah.
back it up. If we have 284,000 followers, but we just didn't do piss all, nothing's gonna happen for us.
Yeah. They're just numbers then at that
It
point.
doesn't matter who you are, what kind of music you play, you gotta work.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that, you can write the best song in the world, but if nobody hears it,
Then what does it matter? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to play all the angles.
Yeah. Well, kind of on the subject of social media, I think it was around this time last year, there was some unexplained discourse about that girls only mosh pit. I don't even know why or how that even started.
Oh man, I got wrecked online. That was actually so brutal. Okay, so we have this one show in Vancouver, and I noticed the crowd was being ridiculously rowdy, and this show had a bit more women in the crowd than like I'm used to. And I just saw them not even like having a good time, and I was like, "Yo, for this next song, girls only, guys, fuck off." And somebody was filming it, and so we thought it was be a good moment to just be like, "Yo, like." Put it online. It's just a good little moment that a fan caught, not thinking anything of it. Little did we know, some people in Wisconsin really hated this.
I don't understand
I
why.
don't know. They kind of accrued it to the fact that I was pandering, I was being creepy, anything under the sun that they could to literally just tear me down. And then from that, I had a retort. I was like, yo, it's like it's like I'm literally out here just trying to play my music. Like I don't know what I did to deserve this. I don't know why thinking creating a safe space for individuals was a bad thing just because I'm a male.
Yeah.
Um, so I honestly, that whole interaction, it honestly gave me mad insecurity about the whole thing. Like I don't think I've done it more than like 5 times since then, just
Mm.
because like I'm always just afraid of being fucking ripped apart online. Like that's scary for no reason. Like I had like 60 people on Twitter tagging me, calling me names, telling me that like my band sucks and this or that, like never come to their state. Like that, it's weird. Very, very,
People are
very,
shitty, man.
very
People are
weird.
shitty. Like, how dare
Yeah.
you want to let people have fun at your show? How dare you do that?
Yeah, it's all part of getting out in front of all these people. You're gonna have some
Yeah,
people that love it and some people that hate it. It's tough to deal with, but
yeah,
if you have haters, that I think that means that you're just getting in front of enough people. So
yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, you don't you want lovers or haters, don't you? You don't want to be like a band that no one talks about, because then,
Then you're mid.
yeah, you don't want to be mid. Um, well, we kind of mentioned it a moment ago, like obviously all this like social media stuff that you make, and then you also do like there's been like a few mini documentaries that you've done, like video series and stuff like that. Obviously along with the content you put on social media. How important is kind of everything surrounding the music to you? I think you kind of touched on it earlier, but is there the thought of like content, content, content? Does that ever like burn you out at all?
yes, yes, it does, and especially Brad, I think, because it takes so long to edit all this content, and like for every 20-second video that we film, there's probably like at least 20 minutes of footage that he's got to dig through. So we really feel for him and we really appreciate all that he does. Because even for us, just having to split all our time between, it's like, okay, well, do we play music tonight or do we just film ourselves
Yeah,
doing silly stuff? It definitely it makes it hard to like keep your eye on the prize. Like I don't know, it's working, so it's good. But sometimes and for a long time it wasn't really doing much, but you just have to keep going, keep grinding, and just know that it's going to do something.
yeah, yeah. Um, well, yeah, but speaking of like stuff outside of the music as well, like I saw you got your own like coffee beans to go with the EP or something. That looked pretty cool. Was it caffeine sickness?
Caffeine sickness, yes.
Yeah.
So we partnered with our good friends in Kelowna, Anarchy Coffee Roasters. They're like some of our favorite coffee and some good friends of ours, honestly. So we've been talking about it for a while, doing something like that, and yeah, like it's been selling really well on the road. I've got a box of it in the van, and it just smells amazing. If you're a coffee lover, it's like some of the best coffee. And yeah, maybe we'll do like a tea, and we've done a tea in the past, but we love doing little collabs like that where you can get like a merch item that's kind of out of the box, something a little different.
Yeah, like some bands do like coffee, like you guys have done. Some people do like tea, and some people do like sauces as well. I don't know if like that would be something you'd be up for if the
So
opportunity came.
yes, if anybody out there makes hot sauce and you want to do a collab, let's do it.
What do you think you'd call it? Just off the top of your head.
Oh, damn.
We can circle back to it. You can think about it for a little bit.
Yeah, give me a sec on that one.
It
It has to be a clever name,
has
so
to be a clever name. I can't think of anywhere where you could try and put the brackets E in there either, because that would obviously that'd
yeah.
work well. But
Okay, I thought of one, but it's not, I don't think it's very good. We have a new song, like our next the like focus track of the EP is called Skin and Bones. So I was thinking skin and habaneros, but that sounds gross, kind of. Skin. No, we can't do that. Yeah, Luke's face.
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah,
One more pepper.
one more. Okay. I don't like that
One more
either.
pepper. No?
No. We'll workshop it.
Yeah, you'll workshop it.
Yeah.
Just get ready for when the time comes, so you've got that name ready. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Skin
you guys
of
are
habaneros.
That's sort of what I was thinking, but it's the skin element that's gross.
Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have got a bunch of touring plans come up. I think you got shows with Good Terms and Goalkeeper, and I think you got a show with Forever Come Falling and Handguns as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you feeling about all that? That's just loads of
We're
stuff in
feeling
the
great.
pipeline.
Yeah, we're excited. It's been a while since we've been to the US. We haven't been there with our current following. Like we were talking about social media, so it'll be cool to see what the growth has been since the last time we were there. We've got new music to play, which is always exciting. I think the tour is like 6 weeks in total, down through the States, and we go over to Eastern Canada and the Eastern US. So yeah, we're really excited to see some old friends, tour with some bands that we really like. The show with Forever Came Calling, that's Chain Reaction in Anaheim.
Right.
So that's gonna be really cool. That's one of our favorite venues. Yeah, we just got a new tour van recently, so we're getting ready. We're gearing up.
Awesome. Yeah, it just seems like you've got so many like dates in the pipeline, like getting all that time off work.
Yeah, that's the tough part. I just
That's
told
called
my
a
job.
leave of absence.
Yes. That's stressful for me. Like it's always tough to like I've had so many jobs recently, and it's like you want to do good at work, you want to do good just in general in life. So it's tough like going to my boss all the time being like, "Hey, need another 6 weeks off work." And I mean it's not just 6 weeks, so like I need some time on either end to get things ready, and then
Yeah.
on the other side I need to like just chill, get my sanity back. Because being on the road for 6 weeks is actually crazy. It feels like a lot longer. I think the most we've done is 2 months on the road, and it's
That made
it's
me feel like I was 60 years old by the end.
it's crazy. Like unless you've done something like that, you don't really know because you're going to like a new city every day. You're seeing all these new people every day. It's just like a barrage of new stuff every
Yeah.
single day.
Just like an overload of
Yeah,
stuff
like
going on in life.
yeah, like what you go on vacation and you're doing all this stuff and you're thinking back, you're like, oh my God, was that just like last night that we did that?
Yeah.
And it's like imagine going for like 2 straight months where you go to a new city every day. It's like it just becomes such a blur. Eventually you do kind of fall into a groove where you just kind of just go with the flow. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to go out for that long and just be as far away from home as we get.
Yeah.
But we're a good group to do it. We've done it a lot of times and we know just what to do. So we're really excited to play our new songs for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And just see how they pop off with the crowds, I guess.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, you came over to this side of the pond as well, like a few years ago with Chief State, I think. Have you
Yep.
got any plans of coming back here in the future, or is that not early?
We were literally just
100%.
talking. We were just talking about like after we do America and Canada, we definitely want to come over to the UK and Europe. So definitely not this year, but
We're looking at next year. Yep.
yeah, we're looking
Fingers
at next year.
crossed. Do you think that'll be like a support run, or you don't know? It's just kind of up in the air at the moment.
You know what? I will tell you something kind of crazy about us is that I don't know whether it's from because where we are, but we have never even been a support band on a tour, not once.
Oh,
We've been
really?
headlining for 10 years. Yes. We've opened for people at certain dates. Like we've opened up for The Offspring and Edmonton and Calgary, but never once were we ever a support on a tour for a bigger band. We were always the big band.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's honestly probably been the hardest roadblock for us, is that lots of these bands that blow up, they get taken by amazing, huge bands, and then all of a sudden they have 300 people listening to them every night. No, we've played to 3 people, and then 13 people, and then 30 people, and then 100 people, and then finally now we get like 200 people at these shows because we've been just hard going at it. I would appreciate if a band could take us out, but that's not going to stop us from getting out there. I think lots of bands are waiting for their big break when they can make it for themselves.
Well, fingers crossed next year's the year. Like, if anyone's listening that could take you on, hook them up.
Hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up.
Yeah. Well, what else have you got planned for 2024 so far? Obviously, you got quite a lot of touring towards the end of the year, but anything else going on?
Recording again.
Yeah.
We're not going to make the same mistake and have 2 years pass by when we have new music that can be recorded as soon as we can.
There's always
So we're
stuff
probably
like in the works then, or
oh yeah, we got demos. We got a Dropbox folder full of shit that we can get on for the next stuff. We got more stories to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to
More
meet
things
with
to say.
want to meet with Quinn on Monday to flesh out what it's going to look like for the next one. So yeah,
the grind never stops.
it literally never stops.
Never.
No. Well, thanks guys. I really appreciate you jumping on and talking about the new EP with me. It sounds exciting. You've got obviously all this touring coming up, which is, I'm sure it's going to go down really well with the crowd, all these new songs.
I hope so.
Before you let you go, any final words, anything you want to say or plug that we've not covered? Floor's yours.
One thing is that if you've made it all the way to the end and you still don't know who we are and you've never listened to us, head to callingallcaptainsband.com. You can find everything about us there. You can find our music, you can find our merch to support us directly, and you can find tickets for our US and Canada tour this fall. So definitely, if you want to support some boys from Canada, head to callingallcaptainsband.com.
Anything from you, Connor? Is that are we
Follow us on social media. Follow our Instagram. Follow our TikTok. We're always posting our stuff there. Instagram's probably the most up to date with everything.
Instagram's the best.
We do some serious videos. We do some funny videos. If you want to like check us out, get to know us, that's what you should do.
Yeah.
And come see us on the road. I'm gonna be out there for a while.
And check out the new EP, Emotion Sickness.
Out the new EP, yeah, it's out
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Out tomorrow. If
Yeah.
you're watching on the 18th.
And if you're not, it's already out, so go and check it out.
Oh.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on early as well. And yeah, best of luck with the EP and the tour. Hopefully see you when you come over here. And yeah, take care of yourselves.
Definitely.
Cool.
Thank you very much
Zach.
for having me. Appreciate it.
No worries, guys. Take care of yourself.
See you, man.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in to It's Not a Phase. If you enjoyed this episode, then don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Leave a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Follow the podcast on social media. And maybe even join the Patreon or grab some merch from the store. You can find everything that you need at itsnotaphase.co.uk. That's itsnotaphase.co.uk. Thanks again. Hopefully catch you on the next one. And remember, it's not a phase, it's a lifestyle.